Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vietnam Stock Market Opportunities. It's an honor to be with you today. And if you want to open legal trading accounts, please contact us with the email Vietnamstockmarket.entry@gmail.com, Telegram Vietnamstockmarket.entry with the phone number is 8491-432-6556. Or you can also scan the two QR code on the screen so that we can support you. And the other way to contact with us is please follow and subscribe to channel name Areca Capital channel. The owner of this YouTube channel is Areca Hồng Nguyễn. She's a personal financial advisor. You can contact her with the email hongdongnguyen@vcsc.com.vn with the phone number is 8491-432-6556. We always welcome you to our office on the 11th floor, 109 Trường Đạo Street, Hoàn Kiếm District, Hà Nội, Vietnam. And today we're going to share with you about the Vietnam Strategy 2023. Let's continue with the real estate, shorter recovery pathway than last cycle. New land law and housing law will strongly affect the real estate markets. The Land Law 2013 and Housing Law 2014 have revealed inadequacies that call for urgent amendments. According to the National Assembly's timeline, the amended Housing Law and Land Law will get approval in May and October 2023 respectively, after submissions to National Assembly and public feedback. Previously, the drafts were submitted to the National Assembly for the first consultation at the fourth session in October 2022. The finalized amended land law will follow the guidance of Resolution 18 NQTW dated the 16th June 2022, with the most noticeable change being the removal of a land price frame. Meanwhile, the draft for the amended housing law includes a proposal to limit the leasehold term for apartment owners, which has raised public controversy. We believe the finalized amendment of the land law and housing law will have a significant impact on the overall real estate markets as well as the project development of developers. We expect developers BHM, KDH, and NLG that have strong financial positions and track record of project development will have advantages to develop and monetize their land banks when these two laws are approved. In the meantime, before the new laws become effective, we believe ministries and provincial level authorities should have the more specific directions and instructions in terms of dealing with administrative producers to avoid prolonged project development for real estate developers. Key changes suggested in drafted amendment to land law and housing law. Housing law term of apartment ownership. Current regulation, no term limit for apartment ownership for Vietnamese buyers. Proposed revised regulation. Proposal of two options. Option 1, limited term of apartment ownership according to the useful life of the building. Only applies the term of ownership for apartment projects that receive or construction permits after the effective date of this law. Option 2, the same with current regulation. VCSC comments, the new proposed regulation on apartment ownership terms will affect home buyers' sentiment on condo projects and thus affect project launches. If this policy is approved, home buyers will have a tendency of buying landed properties, which goes against the government's direction on housing development. Furthermore, the regulation on apartment ownership terms only applies to new projects after the effective date of this law, which may cause speculation on existing apartments. Rules for social housing lease purchase or sales. Current regulation, Article 62, the term of a social housing lease agreement is at least 5 years from the date on which the lease purchase agreement is signed. The lessee under an agreement on a social housing lease or lease purchase may not sell, sublet, or lend that house during the term of the agreement. If he or she no longer wishes to rent and or buy the house, the agreement shall be terminated and the house shall be returned. The buyer under the agreement on a social housing lease purchase or sale may not resell the house within at least 5 years from the date on which the total amount is paid off. Proposed revised regulation. Proposal of two options. Option one, essentially the same with the current regulation. The buyer and lessee may resell the house after 5 years, but can only resell it to entities entitled to buy social housing. Option two, remove the time requirement of 5 years. However, the buyer and lessee may only resell it to entities entitled to buy social housing. VCMC comments, the new proposed regulation is in line with the government's directive to support social housing development as it loosens requirements for secondary transactions. The revised regulation allows the buyer to sell the house immediately after completing financial obligations without any lockup period. The specific requirements of secondary buyers also ensures that the government's social housing incentives will be available for the eligible beneficiaries. Land price. Current regulation, Article 113, the government shall promulgate land price frames once every 5 years for each type of land and for each region. During the implementation of land price frames, if the popular price in the market increases 20% or more over the maximum price or reduce 20% or more below the minimum price precised in the land price frames, the government shall adjust land price frames accordingly. Article 114. Land price tables and specific land prices. 1. Based on principles, methods of land valuation and land price frames, provincial people's committees shall develop and submit and price tables to the people's councils of the same level for review before promulgation. Land price tables shall be developed once every 5 years and publicized on the first January of the beginning year of the period. Proposed revised regulation. The draft law proposes removing Article 113 in the current Land Law 2013. In the draft amended version, provincial people's committees will establish the land price table on an annual basis and issue this table on the first January in any given year. The draft law also adds additional uses of the land price table, including one, the calculation of land lease fees when the government leases land with an annual lease payment. Two, the calculation of land use tax and tax on delayed projects. Three, the calculation of additional land use levies for delayed projects. And four, the calculation of the starting price in case of a land use rights auction for land allocation or land lease. BCSC comments, we think the more frequently updated land price table helps it be close to the market and facilitates the compensation and implementation of projects. However, the closer to market land price also means potentially higher investment costs for developers, as total land costs account for 30% to 40% of total project costs per our estimates. The removal of the land price framework will have a significant impact for developers' project in the early stages of acquisition or land clearance, as it will potentially increase and cost, uh, consequently pushing off selling prices. We believe VHM, KDH, and NLG will have advantages to accelerate land clearance due to their strong financial positions and track record of project development. Land allocation, land lease, and change of land use purpose. Article 52 basis for land allocation, land lease, and change of land use purpose. The annual district level land use plans that have been approved by competent state agencies. Two, land use demands as indicated in investment project documents or in applications for land allocation, land lease, or change of land use purpose. Proposed revised regulation, land allocation and land lease shall be conducted mostly by auctioning land use rights and bidding on land using projects. In case of not going through a bidding process, produce or a change of land use purpose, the regulation will follow the two conditions stated in Article 52 of the Land Law 2013. DCSC comments, the auction mechanism promotes the transparency of land allocation of or land lease producers and unleash a potential source for the state budget. We also believe their leading developers will prevent track records of project development and financial positions will have high probabilities of winning deals. Structural growth drivers for Vietnam's housing sector remain solid. We maintain our view that the real estate sector will benefit from the following structural drivers over the long term: strong economic growth, growing urbanized population, improving infrastructure, an emerging middle influence class, shrinking average household size and increasing mortgage penetration. A growing urban population continues to drive demand for housing. We believe Vietnam will experience constructural growth in the residential real estate market that has been similarly experienced by more developed countries in the region. In particular, we believe Vietnam's urbanization rate will converge toward the rates of regional peers over the long term. Furthermore, we expect an emerging middle income class will likely follow the lifestyles of regional peers by having smaller household size, which should boost demand from first-time homebuyers. Urban population growth in Southeast Asia. Vietnam's projected urbanization rates. Vietnam's average housing floor area per capita. Development of Vietnam's underpenetrated mortgage market could further support homebuyer demand. Vietnam's outstanding mortgage loans as percentage of GDP in 2021 was 15.9% per our estimates, lower than Thailand and far below the levels of Singapore and Malaysia. We attribute this in part to Vietnam's higher mortgage rates compared to other countries. We expect the development of Vietnam's mortgage market to support growth in the residential market over the long term. Total home mortgage loans outstanding as percentage of GDP in 2021. Mortgage rate ranges in Southeast Asia. Leading developers and banks have been innovating mortgage packages to enhance affordability for home buyers. Property products from leading developers often offer buyers mortgage packages with more favorable interest rates relative to the market thanks to strong partnerships between project developers and large banks. For example, to support the preparation of bookings pre-sales, and LG allows home buyers to open a savings account at Vietcombank and enjoy a regular savings interest rate until an LG launches pre-sales for the project. To mitigate upfront payments, interest support is usually offered to homebuyers by developers for 18 to 24 months, along with a grace period for principal payments during the period of interest support. Notably, Techcombank and Vinhomes have joined forces to offer a mortgage plan to homebuyers with a maximum tenor of 35 years compared to the traditional maximum of 20 years, which makes their monthly payment more affordable for homebuyers. The same group and commercial banks, including BP Bank and MB Bank, offer a mortgage plan for land plots products at DXG's Gem Sky World project, which is a rather new initiative. As mortgage plans are not usually applying for land products. Percentage of residential units sold packaged with a mortgage product in 2021-2022. Share price performance. Top stock picks by Vinhomes, VHM. BHM, a 69% owned subsidiary of Vingroup, VIC, has established itself as the leading developer in Vietnam's residential markets by successfully delivering a number of developments with sizable scale. In Vietnam, VHM's market share was 44% in the high-end condo segment 2016 to 9 months 2022 and 43% in the mid and condo segments 2019 to 9 months 2022 per CBRE. Despite near-term segment setter headwinds from higher interest rates, potential funding constraints following scandals, tighter regulations in the bond market, and subdued confidence among home buyers. We believe VHM's leading position has remained intact thanks to strong pre-sales, but new mega projects, on-track construction progress, and its healthy balance sheet. We continue to believe the company is well positioned to ride Vietnam's residential property growth story over the long run thanks to its market leading position, large land bank, and unique mixed-use developments. We forecast solid 2022 forward pre-sales at the Empire and the Crown projects to support 2023 forward profit with net profit after tax MI of 34.3 trillion Vietnam dong, 1.5 billion US dollar, more than 11% compared to 2022 forward. We forecast 2023 forward pre-sales to decline 19% compared to 2022 forwards, high base to 82 trillion Vietnam dong, 3.5 billion US dollar, with contributions from VHM's 5 current mega projects and 2024 forward pre-sales to increase 15% year-over-year compared to 2023 forwards due to our expectation for pre-sales launch at Wonder Park 133 hectare and Cổ Loa 385 hectares, which are both in Hanoi. Khang Dien House by KDH. KDH possesses an undervalued land bank that is one of the largest in Ho Chi Minh City. We believe housing products from experienced developers with strong brand equity, such as KDH with its dominance in the Ho Chi Minh City landed housing segments, will continue to attract interest from home buyers. We expect small-scale residential projects to continue to drive 2023 to 2025 forwards profits, and KDH large-scale Tân Tạo project to start pre-sales in 2025. We believe low-rise and small-scale projects with high profit margins such as Classier, Clarita, and the Solina Phase 1 will largely support KDH's medium-term sales and profits. We project the Privia, Classier, Clarita, and the Solina Phase 1 to account for 85% of our 2023-2025 forwards aggregate net profits after tax MI forecast. Meanwhile, according to KDH's June 2022 BOD route solution, the company approved the loan limits of up to 4.6 trillion Vietnam dong, 195 million US dollar with the 7-year term for the Tân Tạo project. Total project site area of 330 hectares in Bình Tân District, Ho Chi Minh City. As such, we expect KDH will continue to accelerate land clearance. 80% has been cleared and construction progress for this large-scale project will start pre-sales in 2025. We also expect the Limingson Industrial Park expansion project to support KDH's 2024 to 2026 according to management. This IP project completed 90% of land clearance and is expected to start sales in Q4 2023. Please find more details on KDH in our latest update reports. Nam Long Group, NLG. NLG is an experienced developer with well-positioned products in the affordable housing markets. After becoming a proven low-end housing developer, NLG expanded into the mid-range and landed property segments across its land bank in Ho Chi Minh City and second-tier provinces. We expect NLG will continue to focus on the affordable mid-range condo and landed property segments, which have been outperformers in past years in terms of price and demand. We expect 5 key projects: Izumi City, Southgate, Akari City, Mizuki Park, and Gunhe to contribute to our forecast for NLG's aggregate 2022 to 2024 forward pre-sales of 22.7 trillion Vietnam dong, $962 million US. We forecast 2023 forward profits to be driven by deliveries at Southgate, Mizuki Park, and Gunhe, as well as their Paragon stake sales. Amidst short-term headwinds related to stricter policies from the SBV on new loans to developers and bond issuance, we believe NLG is in a good position compared to other developers as it has already prepared sufficient capital for the development of key projects in 2022-2023 forward, thanks to active capital rising in 2021 and early 2022 via private placement, treasury share sales, and corporate bond issuance. Please find more details on NLG in our latest update report. Vincom Retail, VRE. As VRE is a leading player in the industry, we believe it is well positioned to capitalize on the rise of modern retail in Vietnam over the long run. VRE is looking to strengthen its market dominance by leveraging its competitive advantages, including prime locations, nationwide scale, and access to the largest land bank in Vietnam, which are reflected in VRE's more opening pipeline. We expect solid growth for retail leasing profits in 2023, which is mainly driven by our expectation for a lower support package year-over-year. VRE provided tenants with a support package of 464 billion Vietnam dong, $20 million in Q1 2022, but minimal amounts in Q2 2022 and Q3 2022. We expect there will not be large COVID-19 support packages in Q4 2022 forwards and 2023 forwards, but do expect expenses related, one, marketing and events during the holiday season, and two, support for some tenants in some tier malls who are not quickly recovering after 2 years of COVID-19. As such, we forecast VRE's 2023 forwards retail leasing gross profits to surge 6% to 4.3 trillion Vietnam dong, 182 million US dollar compares to 2022 forwards. We expect VRE to launch 6 new malls in 2023, which will reaffirm its position as a dominant and proven landlord. We forecast these new malls will raise VRA's total retail leasing GFA to 1.94 million square meter by end 2023 forwards, compared to 1.75 million square meter currently and 1.57 million square meter at end 2019 pre-COVID. Moreover, we project additional retail leasing GFA of 240,000 square meter per year in 2024 to 2027 forwards. We forecast a 2023 to 2027 forward net profit after tax MI CAGR for VIE of 21%, that is result of our expectations for additional contributions from new malls and an overall margin improvement. Appendix company names and tickers. VIC, VHM, VRE, KDH, NLG, DHG, DHS, DIG, and NVL. And that brings me to the end of my presentation today about real estate. So if you want to open a legal trading account, don't hesitate to contact with us with the information on the screen so that we can assist you. Like, subscribe our channel and share this video to everyone to know more our channel. So thank you for your attention and see you next time.